Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Sunday. Hope you're doing well wherever you're watching or listening to this around the world. Thank you as always for joining me on a match day. Of course, Arsenal versus Newcastle. Well, Newcastle versus Arsenal, sorry, kicking off in a few hours' time up at St James's Park. First of all, apologies for the voice. I know I sound a bit crap, basically, but I was at Oasis last night at Wembley and I'm hanging this morning. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I'm a bit fragile. Voice is a bit fragile. Unbelievable night though. Unbelievable night. You know when you've been looking forward to something for so long and you're worried that the expectation is not actually going to match the reality, but this did match the reality. It was just an unbelievable night. 30 odd years in the making for me, and yeah, it was very, very good. But I'm feeling a bit fragile this morning, everyone. But hopefully Arsenal can give me something to make me feel an awful lot better a little bit later on. Also, you may well have noticed in yesterday's video and hopefully on today's video some ads on this, which is obviously a good sign in terms of the monetization of the channel. And thank you so much for all the support that's gone on in the last month while this has all been going on. We're not at the end of the road yet, but we are at a stage where I can actually turn ads on again. I've still got lots to go through with Google to actually get the revenue from the ads back to me, but we're getting there. So positive steps, and lots of you noticed that yesterday. I saw in the comments and said well done and all that. So thank you very much for that. Like I said, we've still got a way to go, but fingers crossed we are on the green shoots to recovery when it comes to the monetization of the channel, which is obviously for me a massive relief. And yeah, hopefully that will be sorted very, very soon. Right, enough of that. Let's talk about today's game, shall we? Because it's a big one. No doubt about it. You might have known, you might well be aware of some of the results that happened yesterday in the Premier League. They were pretty good. It was a pretty good day from an Arsenal point of view. So we'll talk about that in the show as well. But it's added extra importance, obviously, to what Arsenal have got to do today at a ground where, quite frankly, they've been terrible for the last few visits. So they're going to need to improve. So we'll talk about that. We'll look at, I'll go through predicted 11s, what you guys have been saying in terms of the 11 that you'd like to see from Mikel Arteta today. There are obviously some big sort of decisions to make, certainly around the midfield. Whether Martin Odegaard's fit will probably make that decision a little bit easier. What do you do on the left-hand side in terms of Martinelli, or do you play Eze? There's a few decisions that you have to make. The midfield's obviously the key one. I think that's one that everyone's going to be looking at because that's where the narrative kind of has been around Arsenal for the last few games. Certainly the last few tough away games, going to Anfield, playing the midfield three that they did. Doing it in Bilbao as well, of course, and playing against Manchester City. There's been lots of talk about the whole Marino, Rice, Zubimendi and it not working and being negative and all that sort of stuff. So obviously if Martin Odegaard's fit, which we hope he will be, fit enough to start, I think he will start this game. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. But if not, that's going to leave Mikel with a big sort of decision to make. Obviously, Arsenal's record at Newcastle is really poor. They were beaten there twice last season, one in the League Cup semi-final, 2-0, once in the league. They lost 1-0 the season before that in the league as well. They've barely, mustered a chance, let alone scored a goal. I can think of a couple of chances in the last few games. Martin Odegaard had a really good one at the start of that Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg, which he put wide. Declan Rice missed a good header, a really good chance for a header late on in one of the 1-0s as well. So Mikel was asked in the sort of press conference, in the embargo section of the press conference, what can you do differently? Can you take a different approach at Newcastle rather than maybe trying to sort of match them physically? Can you do something a little bit different? And I spoke about this on yesterday's show. The one time Arsenal have won there in recent years was when they put Jorginho in the centre, which was a surprise at the time, but it worked. And they got ground out a really good 2-0 win. Sort of their football shone through in that game. It wasn't just all about sort of physical battle. But when asked if it's going to need a different approach, Mikel said, I would go to efficiency a lot because a lot of times we have played a game that was very similar to the last one. And that would give us the best opportunity to win it. But we haven't been able to seal it. And that's a demand. We have done it at home against them. We did it in pre-season in Hong Kong against them. So we are more than capable of doing it. And that's the confidence that we're going to play the game with. And I mean, maybe he's right to point to that game. I mean, it is pre-season, obviously, but Arsenal did. I thought they played some quite good stuff in that game in Hong Kong. So maybe you can take something from that, even though it is only pre-season. When asked about if Arsenal have got a mental block against Newcastle, he said no, because we have won and we have lost as well. The last few results there could have been different. I mean, we played the second game in a semi-final, and after 2 minutes, Odegaard is in front of goal. If he scores, we're talking about something else. So it's going to be these moments. We need to be clinical and efficient to win these games. I mean, efficiency is obviously absolutely key. If Arsenal do get some chances today, definitely need to take them. And Newcastle haven't had the best of starts. I was in the queue for a beer at Wembley last night, and I got talking to a Geordie, and he was actually he was at the gig. He wasn't staying in a hotel. He was going to stay overnight at the train station and wait for his train at 10 a.m. this morning, and then which gets in at 1 o'clock, and then go straight to the game. And we were talking about about the game and how Arsenal have played against Newcastle in recent years, and he was saying the same sort of thing, that maybe it would be good for Arsenal not to go all physical. And he also said that Newcastle haven't actually been playing that well this season, which they haven't. I mean, you look at their results, not great. So maybe this is a good time for Arsenal to play Newcastle. We'll see. When asked if Arsenal should let the handbrake off, which is a lovely phrase when it comes to Arsenal, Mikel said, we're going to try and be as dominant as possible with a lot of attacking players and attacking threat. And we want to create threat from various ways, because it's not only one way, it's a lot of ways that we can hurt them. And we're going to try in different ways. So we shall see. But it takes on real added importance, this game, because of what happened yesterday with some of the results. Obviously, Liverpool losing for the first time this season. Crystal Palace now the only unbeaten team in the Premier League. Brilliant win for them. And of course, Eddie Nketiah with the goal right at the end, after Mo Salah had done a lovely layup to set up Chiesa for an equaliser. That obviously there was no handball there, no clear sign of a handball at all, apart from him just doing this. But it didn't matter, because Eddie Nketiah popped up with a brilliant finish to win it for Palace late on yesterday. Fair play to them. Liverpool's luck, it's fair to say, maybe, that they've enjoyed at stages so far this season, ran out a bit yesterday. And you just want Arsenal to take advantage of now. Arsenal, if they win, they go second, only 2 points behind Liverpool, which, given the start that Arsenal have had in the games, especially away from home that they've had, that would be a decent start to the season, no doubt about it. Spurs dropped points yesterday, needed a late equaliser against Wolves at home. Chelsea lost, Danny Welbeck doing the business at Stamford Bridge for Brighton. So, Man City obviously won. But other than that, it's been a good weekend for Arsenal. They just need to take advantage of it today. So predicted 11. This is what I've gone for. So obviously I'm presuming that Martin Odegaard has been past fit to start. And there was a quote from Arteta. Let's see if I can find it. I don't think I can, but there was a quote from Arteta in the embargoed section of the press conference where he specifically talked about Odegaard, and he kind of said, look, Odegaard's a bit different. If he's he only needs a couple of days training and he's fine, because of his, I can't remember the exact quote, but he basically said if he only needs a couple of days training, then he's fine to start, which is a suggestion, I think, that he's going to start this weekend. So I'm presuming he is. So my 11 is Raya in goal. Obviously, I've gone Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori. So basically the back four that we've been used to so far this season. I'm then going Zubimendi, Odegaard and Rice as the midfield three. If Odegaard isn't fit, then I know people don't like it, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's Merino, but we'll wait and see. And then I've gone Saka, Gyökeres and Eze. I was umming and ahhing about Martinelli or Eze. I've gone with Eze, but again, kind of similar to Merino, I wouldn't be shocked if we got there and saw Martinelli starting, given the way Martinelli has played in recent weeks. So that's the predicted 11. That's what I think he's going to do. In terms of what I would do or what I would want, I think I would probably want that team. I would maybe, if Odegaard's not 100% fit, I would maybe like to see Eze playing in the central area and have Martinelli on the left-hand side. I wouldn't want to see Zubimendi, Merino and Rice. I could see an argument for it being a midfield that might work in this game because of the sort of physicality Arsenal are going to come up against. But I would just like to see, if Odegaard's not fit, a more attacking mindset. So I'd like to see Zubimendi, Eze and Rice, and then I'd play Martinelli on the left. But if Odegaard's fit, I'd be playing Odegaard in this game. So those are that's my predicted 11 and the 11 that I would do. Let's see what some of you have been saying now. I like this one from Angry Pacifist, getting in as many Oasis puns as you possibly can. And it says, hi, Charles. My wonder wall at the back would be Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori with Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard midfield. If Odegaard isn't fit, don't look back in anger. Merino would start for me. This is the only game I would start him with Rice and Zubimendi. My master plan up front would be Martinelli, Gyökeres and Saka. Even if Eze is not in midfield, Arsenal will live forever. Come on, you Gunners. Enjoy tonight. As last night, I did enjoy it. Thank you very much, Angry Pacifist. It was a very, very special night. Killis says, I wouldn't mind the same lineup that we used against City with the exception of Eze for Trossard. So that would obviously be the same midfield three of Zubimendi, Rice and Merino. Carlo Guna says, my 11 to face Newcastle would be Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Rice and Eze, central role there, and then Saka, Martinelli and Gyökeres. And Abu says, a must win, especially after the Liverpool loss. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Eze, Gyökeres and Saka. We've got a couple more now. Here's one from Sam who says, as far as tactics go, I don't think matching Newcastle's physicality works. With Tonali, Bruno and Joelinton in midfield, we're better off bypassing it. Our controlled approach makes us even more susceptible to their strength in the tackle. I think we'll see roaming Calafiori from left back, more direct attacks and where we bypass the midfield into Victor Martinelli. Quick passing from Zubamendi and Odegaard will be key, and also the ref to actually call a Newcastle foul for once. Yeah, I think that's quite interesting in terms of trying to sort of bypass that physicality in midfield. With someone like Gyökeres, Arsenal got the opportunity to do that, hit him long into the channels. Newcastle are very good at fullback. I do like their fullbacks, especially Livramento. So it won't be easy for Arsenal down the channels at times, but it is a good, bypassing that midfield is probably a decent option, to be fair. And Connie says, given it's Newcastle, this would be my team. Raya, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Zubamendi, Rice, Martinelli, Eze, Saka and Gyökeres. Timber has been incredible, but I feel like Ben White is more suited to this game, given his solidity and his ability on the overlap. Not for me, I'd be going Timber. I think Timber's been too good to leave him out. Ben White's still obviously searching for his fitness and searching for his form as well, because he's played so little football. I'm just not sure throwing him in against Newcastle from the start would be ideal, especially as he played quite a lot of minutes in midweek in the Carabao Cup. And I think the fact that Arteta played him in that game suggests it's definitely going to be Timber at right back. So that's what you guys have had to say ahead of the game. Thank you as always for getting in touch. Appreciate that as always. I will try and do a show after the game today. Obviously, I'm not at St James's Park. There was no way I was going to be able to drive up there after Oasis last night. So I'll be watching the game from either here or my dad's. Depends how I'm feeling in a few hours' time, if I can be bothered to make the journey over to my dad's or not. But I will try and do something after the game, sort of on the whistle, sort of player ratings, immediate match reaction. Of course, so keep your eye peeled for that. And until then, have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday, everyone, whatever it is you're up to, and enjoy the football later. Fingers crossed the Arsenal can do the business and get us 3 very, very handy points. Speak to you later, everyone. Bye-bye.